and we're nowhere near reaching that target.
Steve Double, aren't you just way too timid on this? You're not really taking a lead. 2050 is an incredibly timid target. Boris Johnson barely mentions climate change.
Well, that was the target recommended by the International Committee on Climate Change, and it's the one that most countries have accepted. If we can get there earlier, all well and good, but we are taking action, and I think that we have laid out our case. We won a majority at the general election to implement our manifesto, which will bring forward some very radical steps to get us to net zero by 2050. That's what this government is going to do. We've got a debate tomorrow on the Queen's speech on the environment. So there's no doubt of this government's commitment to tackle the climate change challenges, but we've got to do it in a way that takes the country with us, that works with business to find workable solutions to the challenge, and doesn't wreck our economy in the process.
Molly Scott-Cato, your hair shirt approach won't take people with you.
I think actually that's entirely the wrong approach, because what we need to do is invest in the economy of the future. We're getting left behind here compared to our European partners. What we need to do is be the first movers in terms of things like actually building the kit we need for the new economy, whether that's wind turbines or electric vehicles. And we will only do that if we have a regional policy and a proper regional strategy and an industrial policy as well. So we know how we're making this transition. At the European level here, we're debating the European Green Deal. We're not seeing anything like that from the British government. That's a tragedy for future generations and for the climate, but it also means we'll be left behind in terms of the development of the sectors of the future.
Molly Scott-Cato, Steve Double, thank you very much for joining us.
Boris Johnson has called on Donald Trump to negotiate a new nuclear deal with Iran. He says President Trump was against the current deal because it was negotiated by his predecessor, Barack Obama. Britain, France and Germany also accused Iran of failing to fulfill its obligations under the current deal.
Hey, don't blame me because she's annoying you.
So where does that leave relations with Iran? Our political editor Gary Gibbon is in Westminster. Gary.
We might think, because we've moved to a dispute mechanism, that this is an escalation of things, because a dispute mechanism means that the talks process starts, which is triggered by a dispute mechanism on a nuclear deal, and eventually could, if they, for 15 days, if there's no satisfaction there, people could move to applying sanctions. That would be France, Germany,